All right, we're back with another installment on building out a broadcast mix for your live worship setting and or any live setting. My name's Jared Atol. I'm an audio engineer here in Nashville, Tennessee, and I've been working with a church here called Zeal, and this is one of their originals called So Good. You hear Jordan McCullough singing on this. Yeah, last time we left off on distortion, harmonic saturation, and some of that juice. And now we're going to kind of talk about like getting some depth and the effects and reverb and stuff that I accomplished to just try to get some width and depth and length and all sorts of stuff. So we're going to start with that. I've got some stuff dialed up here. Let's talk about these drums. Here's what we're sounding like right now. I like to have the bass in there when I'm listening to the drums, just how my low end's going. Anyways, so one thing I like to do is I like to get like we didn't have like a drum room. These are drums in a cage on stage, right? So it's not an ideal setting for room mics and room sounds, but I do want a space to my drums. So I'll put like a fake drum room in there. Any room reverb will do, but I'm using this Studio City. It's kind of a replica of a room here, and I just kind of went through and picked one that I like the sound of, and let's hear what I'm trying to accomplish with that. That would be this guy here. So yeah, just trying to get that room sound and kind of a sense of a space there. So I'll bring it up when I'm working on it. I'm hitting it with some fair bit of compression here, smash it a little bit, give it some more energy. It just feels like energy, a little more exciting. It kind of just like feels like a little more explosive. It just kind of sounds generic here. This is still. But yeah, I just feel like I get some more energy out of the room and the back end of the room, and I'm doing a really fast attack because I'm not really trying to get transient out of here. I'm trying to get all that room information. So then I'll just like bring this down all the way and tuck it in just like any other parallel channel. Really want to hear some of that space on the kick drum and the snare, and just kind of get a little more width and away from me a little bit. All that punch is still here, but I do want to get something that I feel like is like back in here. Now, in the mix, it's going to be pretty subtle. Let's listen to it. So I still kind of want a little bit more on my snare drum, kind of a room thing going on here. So I make another snare room, and I'll put my snare in there. That's just sick. It's giving me some nice length, some nice texture. I really love that. And same thing, just bring it down and I'll tuck it in. I kind of do that on my send fader. And you know what? I kind of want my toms. Same thing, to have just a little more texture. dig that. Now, kind of want some length on my snare drum, especially in this worship setting, right? I'm going to do something super saucy because we're live, and like in that especially like at Zeal, it's such a massive room, and you kind of get this massive tail, like everything has this massive reverb on it, and we kind of like it soupy there. So I'm going to put a pretty obnoxious amount of reverb on it. I do like this, I'm just doing a plate here. Again, the tools aren't crazy specific. It's just what I'm trying to accomplish here. I'll give it some pre-delay because it kind of give it a slap, right? The pre-delay is like giving me some time before the reverb actually kicks in, and that can really give you a nice like slap, like we're bouncing off walls or something, is kind of like how I would hear it. So I'll put that in, and yeah, check this out. Especially on a slower tempo like this, I kind of like just that decay going until that kick comes in, and it's just like this, I'm just getting this a whole different sense of movement and length out of it. Obviously that's a ton. So I'm going to bring it back here and kind of blend it in. Put the toms in there, why not? Let's see if I get some length out of them. Okay, obviously we're soloed there, so let's see what kind of length we're getting in the whole mix. Now I'm hearing these toms, maybe it's a little too much here, so we'll pull it back. Alright, so check this out. I'm gonna pull all of that texture and room out, and we're just gonna listen to what it was before and after. So here's before. I just hear it as like tight, and then just like not as tight. Still punchy, but just not as tight. And it just kind of gives it a little more width and space, and kind of helps it blend a little bit more instead of just feeling so close and dry. Cool. Another thing, let's talk about this vocal here. So I'm going to bring this vocal in. Here's where we're sitting right now. I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon me, I'm not going down. So, vocals, tough. I like to blend a lot of different things going on here. So I like a slap. Sometimes I like a room, sometimes I like a hall, a plate. These are all just like different little colors that I like to paint with, and I really like blending them. I don't want to just like, I'm not going to just pick one reverb and try to get it to do the whole thing for me. It's just like, that's what kind of gives you a unique sound, is like being able to blend, how you blend different kind of things going on here. So I kind of want texture, I kind of want length and width. So I'm going to be kind of accomplishing that with a couple things. Now, lately I've been a big fan of slap. I just really like slap, especially in a setting like this. I've already got a big room going on with this live thing, so I kind of want to feel a little bit more of like hearing the reflection. This is just like, that long room is just so smeared, and you can hear length and hear it, but I want to hear like more of a slap, but more texture as far as like really hearing the bounce of his vocal. So I'll start with a slap here. I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon me, I'm not going down. So bring on the thunder, bring on the waves. Now when I'm doing these, I do like to roll off I like to filter it down. I don't need a ton of low end in it. I don't need a ton of high end in it. I don't want to hear the S's, especially. Sometimes I'll even put a de-esser in front of this a lot of the times because I don't want the S's. I just want texture. So I'm really trying to get to where I can hear that, and I don't want to notice it. So I'm going to just, I'm showing you exaggerated here, and then I'll blend it into where it's like, it's more felt than heard.
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon me, I'm not going down. So bring on the thunder, bring on the waves. My eyes are fixed on the one.
Just gives me a sense of space, you know. Again, I've compressed this vocal and I brought it so far forward. I'm not trying to counteract that, but I am trying to give it some length and depth. And when I'm doing this, let me crank this again. When I am doing this, I put my feedback at 0, and you know, I like 8, sometimes 16, just depends as far as that goes. But my feedback, I think of like, how long do I want it to last? Because I'll get that one slap at 0 feedback, but as I bring this up, watch how it lengthens my vocal. Start sounding like reverb almost.
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon me, I'm not going down. So bring on the thunder, bring on the...
Versus just hearing that slap, that single slap. So I do this feedback can help soften it or lengthen it, right? So I'll just bring this up until I feel like I got a nice length.
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon me, I'm not going down. So bring on the thunder, bring on the waves.
Dig that. Bring it down, tuck it back up. We're landing around here. And yeah.
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now.
Now, let's say I want a little more thickness, a little more, you know, vibe and lushness. So I'm going to do, I like a plate reverb for that. I'm just using this EMT 140 here. I'm filtering out the low end here. I'm filtering out the high end here, and I'm just using the filters inside the plugin. And sometimes I'll add an EQ if I need to afterwards. I'll do whatever I need to do to accomplish what I'm doing. But here, I'm just using the filters here. And then here's what that's sounding like.
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon me, I'm not going down.
And I'm using this pre-delay just for a little splashiness. Like, again, it's delaying when the effect comes in, and that's another, you can use pre-delay. Sometimes I like to think of it like, if I have a very fast pre-delay, if the reverb is happening right away, that's going to help push my sound back. It's going to help that reverb kind of like suck the sound into it and just be around it instantly. Now, if I don't want to accomplish that, I'll use pre-delay to push my vocal forward again. So then I'm getting the length and I'm getting everything I want from it, but I'm keeping that thing real close to me. So it just go by feel and ear on that. But I mean, I'm using some pre-delay here, and I like it because it kind of gives me the splashiness.
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon me, I'm not going.
And that decay time, I'm playing with the decay time too, to just kind of like fit in with the tempo of the song and just feel like it's playing with with the phrasing of like what he's doing. So if you notice, it's kind of almost gone right when he comes back in.
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon.
It's just this nice, like, I don't know, just gives me like motion in a way there, and I love that.
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon me, I'm not going down.
One thing I like to do too is I get to where I can like hear it, and then I bring it back like 3 dB, because I don't, again, I want to be subtle with these things, and I'm going to like start really clouding up my mix if I'm not being subtle. So I want to get it to where I kind of hear it and just bring it back 3 dB. And when it gets to my mastering chain and all that stuff gets higher and higher, my verbs will get louder. I just don't want that to be overwhelmed by them. So that's kind of how I tuck them in there. Now, like I said, we really like an affected, soupy vocal. And especially like length in this, I'm thinking about this long room again. It just lasts forever, and I kind of want to recreate that. And so I've got kind of an effect verb here, and sometimes I'm gonna be riding these faders, so it's like I kind of create this smorgasbord, and like in the verse, obviously there's not as much going on, so I'll pull it back, and then it gives me this special thing that happens on the chorus. I can crank up my super long affected reverb. So this one I'm using a quarter note delay, backing off on the dry wet. I am filtering here, and then I'm just going into a super, you know, the vibiest of vibey reverbs, vintage reverb. I mean, this thing, it's a goat, you know, so it's really good. Check this out.
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon me, I'm not going down. So bring on.
I call it soup because I'm just trying to add just this, it's almost like a pad, this ambience pad, and that delay. You could hear it when I first stopped it. You can hear his vocal like in that soup a little bit, but obviously this can get out of control quickly. But I made it super long. It's ridiculous, but it's nice, especially if I transitions or whatever. I can kind of ride it up, so it just like helps like this vocal pad kind of just like bridge across some sections. It's just a really nice color to paint with. So
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon me, I'm not going down. So bring on the thunder, bring on the waves. My eyes are fixed on the one who said.
So let's check out his vocal with none of the sauce on it.
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon me, I'm not.
Now, I can listen to him sing all day like that. I mean, he's an incredible singer, but I think this stuff just like helps just bring out the specialness of it. So I'm going to bring it in on the second phrase.
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon me, I'm not going down. So bring on the thunder, bring on.
And like my decision with the super big long reverb, like I said, we do like unaffected, and we are kind of going for that. But I'm also, some of these considerations, I am thinking about what it sounded like in the room, and I'm trying to kind of recreate that and just kind of bring that same vibe that I feel when I'm in the room. So those are affecting some of my decisions here. Now, another thing I like to do is, in parallel, is kind of start to like smear my vocal like widthwise, words, but I want to like smear it out a little bit, just press it out so it's not just this like laser coming at me right here. So I do that with this width control here. In this case, I'm filtering and using this decapitator to kind of give me some more saturation. Let me just start with that. I'll show you what that sounds like.
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon me.
I just kind of move those filters around to where I kind of feel like just the meat of his vocal is and what I want. Now, I feel like in that upper mid-range, like that 3K, I already have a lot of that. So I'm not trying to get it to be brighter, but I am trying to get maybe a little more of the power out of it. So that's what I'm doing here with this decapitator on the filtering. And then I'm just playing with these knobs, and I'm just picking these and which one I like. And that's also going to really help that vocal just come forward. And then I'm going to smear it. So I'm going to bring it forward and smear it. Using this vintage verb again. It's just this an ambience setting, and we'll turn. I'm gonna turn this mix knob down, and then as I bring it up, just listen to how it starts to go wide.
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon me, I'm not going down. So bring on the thunder, bring on the waves. My eyes are fixed on the one who's.
Now I'm taking up a lot more space, and I dig that. And then, you know, if I need it, I'll put an EQ in there. I felt like I needed it here, just maybe getting a little bright, getting a little boxy. So
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon.
it's kind of like adding chorus. Chorus is like the same thing, and then I'm just gonna blend this in. I think we landed around here, you know.
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon me.
I'm gonna bring this thing in and out.
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon me, I'm not going down. So bring on the thunder, bring on the waves.
feel like it just gets a little more like my vocal is like fatter, like it's just taking up more space in the middle, like this way. I'm not really, again, I'm not looking to hear it. I don't want to hear like a chorusing or hear like, oh yeah, that's, you know, like an affected vocal there. I'm just trying to just be subtle and just bring it in a little bit and just kind of accomplish that in small steps. And my verb is also helping get me some width and everything else like that. This is just getting me like width that's here, and my verbs are getting me width that's like over in here. Yeah, let's see. I also sometimes you don't have a great sounding room, or sometimes you don't have room mics at your church or whatever. So I set up this thing. I just called it fake room. Sometimes I'll do this and I just send everything to it. I'm sending everything, my rooms included if I have them, you know, and my vocal included. Got to bring that down here. And that's just going to, you know, a room preset I liked. Today, you know, like I said, these always change, but let's listen to what that sounds like.
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon me, I'm not going down.
So I can use that to sound like a room, you know, to kind of give me that vibe, and just blend that in. And sometimes that can, again, just add to this soup of like really bring in the flavors that I've got going on together. Sometimes with multi-track recording, everything can sound separated. So if you feel like, oh, it's like my drums are here and here and here and here, and my guitars are here and my keys are here and my vocals here, and you're having a hard time blending all those things, sometimes you can just take a room reverb and just blend it in until you start feeling those things just like feel like they're in the same space. 'Cause most of the time in a live recording, I don't want things to feel separated. I recorded them separated, but I don't want them to feel separated. I want them to like really blend together and work together and feel like they're in a space. And even if I have room mics, sometimes maybe I'm feeling like I'm just not getting that gel. I'll add this and bring it down and try to be subtle.
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon me, I'm not going down. So bring on the thunder.
Cool. Let's just do a quick before and after. I will get rid of all this fancy stuff here, and we'll just bring it in and out. Here you go.
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon me, I'm not going down. So bring on the thunder, bring on the waves. My eyes are fixed on the one who saves. You've been faithful, and I'm so grateful. How good you are, how good you've been, how good you're gonna be. You stay the same, you never change. You've been so.
Yeah, pretty night and day. I love it. So now I put my vocal effects on like a VCA here. So check this out. Like when we're coming into that chorus, and I can just ride this sucker. And you know, when he first comes in, we'll bring it down a little bit. We don't need as much.
I'm walking on water as I'm singing now. With your hand upon me, I'm not going down. So bring on the thunder, bring on the waves. My eyes are fixed on the one who saves. You've been faithful, and I'm so grateful. How good you are, how good
okay, you get the idea. If you have any questions about setting up some effects, just let me know, and we'll talk soon. Till next time.